Well, Farbrace, first of all, reflections on the 4 days here at Lord's.
Yeah, tough last day, wasn't it? Really, it doesn't do the county game any good when you watch a game like that on the last day. Fortunately, we only had one daft over. Other than that, it was pretty sensible bowling all day. We tried our best. It's a shame when there's not a lot in the pitch, but that happens sometimes. That's the game of cricket, isn't it? So there were opportunities perhaps when we started bowling. We were a little bit unlucky going past the edge a fair bit, but that's the game. I mean, it's just I think a frustrating game when you end up going through the motions of a last day as we've done today. But those games happen, and you have to move on to the next one, I guess.
I guess when you compare it to last week, which was a terrific game for the county championship, cricket, albeit over in 3 days. I mean, you had to feel a bit for the bowlers in this game, Paul.
Yeah, you did really. I mean, there wasn't a lot in the surface for them. It was a slow surface, but compared to last week, which was an excellent cricket pitch. And it's not. I'm not being disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful about the pitch because. Sometimes it's also about the skill of batters and bowlers, but it was very heavily weighed in the favour of the batters. There wasn't a lot of pace or bounce in it, and when the ball, doesn't go through with a great deal of pace, it does make it quite hard to get wickets, and both teams found it hard to get wickets.
What are your reflections on these first 7 games? Because you go into this break, I mean, it's crazy. We're halfway through the championship season. Sussex top of Division 2. Yeah,
and that's where we want to be. We've said for 2 years we want to be promoted. And we're not going to be typically British and English and say, "Oh, it would be nice to compete." We want to be up there in the top 2. And we want to win the second division. We want to be in Division 1 next year, and there'll be lots of other things. Middlesex they're going well, they're second in this competition. Yorkshire are going to make a run at some point because they've got a fantastic team, and they've got some excellent people there at Yorkshire. So, and there's some good teams. Glamorgan are a good team. They beat us 2 games ago. So there's plenty of good cricket to be played in Division 2 before anyone's decided on who's going to go up, but we want to be there or thereabouts. So 7 games in at the break in the season, to be in the position we're in is fantastic, and that's exactly where we want to be. There's no point talking about being promoted and being second bottom of the table having not won a game. So we're right up there. 3 games 1 out of 7. 2 others that the weather went against us when we were in good positions, and one pretty tough defeat we had at Glamorgan. But that's the way of cricket, isn't it? That's the nature of the game, and it's about who can compete on all surfaces, who can adapt the best, and so far we're in a good position, but we're certainly not getting carried away with ourselves. We know there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of good games to be played, and as I say, there's some good teams in Division 2. We'll also be looking at the turn saying we're not in a bad position.
You lose 3, possibly 3 big players now. Chetishwal we'll talk about in a moment, Jayden Seales and potentially Ollie Robinson should he get in for England. How confident are you, Paul, that you've got the resources now coming in to keep this momentum going?
Well, we've got Nathan McAndrew, who was excellent for us last year. He comes in and plays the next 2 championship games. And then Jaydev Udikat will come back and play the last 5. He was brilliant for us last year at the back end of the season. So from a bowling point of view, we've got excellent quality with 2 people that we know very well who were very keen to come back. And then we've signed Dan Hughes to cover for Chetishwal for the last 7 games of the season. So he'll play the last 7 championship games. And with his experience and expectation on winning at New South Wales, we think he's an excellent signing. He's been here with us for the last 2 days. He's a quality man. He's already fitted nicely into our group, and we know from his record that he's an outstanding player. And he's looking forward to playing in county cricket. So look, we're pretty happy with what we've got. In terms of Oliver, look, we want him to play for England. We want all of our players that have the opportunity to play for England to play for England. Each county it's about producing players to play for England at all levels, and that's something that we're very keen on doing. We want to have a spine of homegrown players. We want to have players playing for England. We want to win trophies for our members. There are 3 core parts of our strategy, and that's something that if Oliver's selected to play for England, then fantastic. It means he's bowling well for us. It means he's taking wickets for us. And look, Sean Hunt played brilliantly, bowled brilliantly in the last game in our win against Yorkshire. Didn't play in this game because of Jayden coming back into the side. Henry Crocombe hasn't played yet. Ari Cavalas has only played 2 games. So we know that we've got good strength in depth with our seam bowling attack. So if Oliver's taken away, he's taken away. But we've got very balanced team with our two spinners, and we play two spinners every single game in Coles and Carson, who are outstanding and getting better every day. And obviously the experience to bowl long spells here will have stood them in good stead. And in Hudson, Prentice and Lamb, we've got two fantastic third and fourth seamers. But as I say, we've got good strength in depth. We've been very consistent with our selection over the first 7 games, and that's a good place to be. So, look, you know, it's... We won't be moaning if Oliver gets picked for England. We'll be celebrating because that's what it should be doing. And if he doesn't get picked, then fantastic, he plays for us, which is great.
Let's talk about Cheteshwar. 100, I think that's 10 hundreds for Sussex. We don't know if he's coming back. He's certainly the end of him for this season. Just sum up Cheteshwar's contribution to Sussex cricket.
Well, I've just said to the Pudgy in the changer in front of all the players, he's one of the most consummate professionals I've ever come across. He's one of the most respectful people you'll ever come across. And whilst he might not say lots every single day, just the way that he practices, the way he prepares, the way he plays his innings, is a great lesson and a great example for any of our players, be it batters or bowlers. If you want to play international cricket for a country like India for over 100 test matches, that's not just on your skill, that's on your mental capacity to deal with the pressure of international cricket, that's your preparation, that's the way you look after yourself, the way you train, the way you eat, and he's all round professionalism. And that's something that, you know, I think we all look at him every day and think, wow, you know, you watch him practice in the morning, he's very meticulous, he's very clear, and he takes that clear thinking into game situations, and that's a great place for him to be. But it's been brilliant for us. So look, hopefully, you know, he'll be back and play some more games at Sussex in the future. I mean, the 2 years that, you know, I've been at Sussex, he's been absolutely brilliant, and it's lovely this year. Last year, obviously, it was sad that his last game for us last season he was suspended for because of our disciplinary issues. This time he's able to finish his spell with us here at Lords and get 100. So, you know, that's pretty decent for him, I reckon, and he thoroughly deserved.